What's up, guys? Ricky here. Do you love Most Valuable Podcasts? And are you like myself where things that you like, you just have to let people know because they've got to be on your t-shirt at all times? If you do, you're in luck because we got Most Valuable Podcast t-shirts. You've probably seen myself, Dave, Mark, Sean, Brandon. You might have seen us wearing these t-shirts in videos. The good thing is now you can get your hands on one too. How do you do so? First off, send us an email, mostvaluablepodcast@gmail.com. Give us your name, your size, your address. We will then send you an invoice through Square. That's how you'll pay for it, $22 per shirt. And then after we get the money, we will send you a great Most Valuable Podcast t-shirt for you to wear so you can tell everybody that you love listening to Most Valuable Podcast. So go check it out. The directions are also in the description. What are you waiting for? We got the shirts just for you. But Johnny, let's finish out the podcast. Going back to a show we haven't talked about in quite some time.
It's been a while.
It's been a while since we talked about a little Game of Thrones on here. And the reason why we're talking about it is on Screen Rant, they had an article about Game of Thrones possibly having a pregnancy storyline in season 8, and this is where they got it from. TV Line's website. It says, without naming Game of Thrones specifically, the site claimed to have confirmed that a widely popular Emmy-winning TV series on a premium cable network is plotting a pregnancy twist that promises to be ... surprising is an understatement. So the question I want to ask you, Johnny, is should Game of Thrones Season 8, should it include a pregnancy storyline to end the series?
Well, I mean, we kind of already do, so they're like basically trying to... One of two things.
Main like a pregnancy storyline to be the main twist.
Yes. Well,
what they twist?
What do you twist? Well, there is one in there already. So it's either...
Cersei.
Yes, exactly. I was going to get to that, but thanks. Take all the fun out of it.
I try.
You're the one that like reveals Christmas presents as you give them out, right? Or before you give them out,
Here's
right?
a sweater. Happy Christmas.
Here's that Xbox game you wanted.
Yeah.
I didn't even unwrap it yet.
Let's be completely honest. Sean wore, if you haven't seen the Fast Break this week, Sean wore the shirt that I got him for Christmas.
Yeah.
Let's be completely honest. I went to each one of you guys and was like, so do you want to know what it is or do you want it to be a secret? And all of you guys know who I am and are just like, just tell me.
No, actually, I said don't tell me.
I know, but most of you guys are like, just tell me, because it's like, partly it's like, now I'm going to worry about it, but also it's like, Ricky, I know you just want to fucking tell me. I know you just want me. I know you just want me to know what I'm getting.
Must have been killing you because I made you wait.
No, because, I mean, no, it didn't kill me.
Oh, okay.
It didn't, because I'm like, you know what? That's who Johnny is. But go ahead.
Anyways, yes, back to Game of Thrones.
With your Game of Thrones with Cersei's pregnancy.
Yeah, I mean, they said there's going to be a twist on it, but then they say something about a surprise too, or something like that.
Surprising is an understatement, is what they said.
Surprising is an understatement.
Meaning it's going to be more than, it's going to be a notch higher than surprising.
Okay, so I mean, we can't really...
Shocking.
I mean, if the twist is the shocking part, then it can still apply to Cersei, who we already have a pregnancy storyline for. We just have to see what's going to happen, because what we got to remember too when it comes to that is when she was a child, a witch told her what her future was going to be, and it didn't mention a fourth child.
No, it didn't.
It said your three, I think it's something along the lines of your 3 children, whatever, your 3 children are going to die, and so is the king, blah 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 blah. Anyways, we can get back to this. It's that or someone else in Game of Thrones universe, I guess we can call it, is preggers or going to be preggers now. And then the question is who?
The first name I thought of when I saw pregnancy storyline was, God damn it, Daenerys is pregnant. Like, that's what I thought.
That would be the next
Daenerys is pregnant. Jon Snow got her pregnant. Here's what I'm thinking.
Gross.
I'm theorizing in my head.
Oh, you're
you ready for this?
theorizing.
I've got 2. One I'm stealing from you because you mentioned this before the podcast.
I did.
I just want to throw it out there so that it's in the world,
Yeah.
so that they can take it, they being you guys, can take it
and run wherever
and
they
run
want
with it. Because, like I mentioned to you, you brought up the first question you asked was, how long has Ramsay been dead for?
Yes.
Because you were thinking the whole Ramsay Sansa thing when they were technically married, but like
he raped her,
and
I guess he did.
Was one
I didn't
where
watch the scene.
My first thought was too much time has passed for us not to know that she's pregnant, unless it's start of season 8. Holy shit, Sansa's pregnant.
Could be, honestly, because we only had he died at the end of season 6.
Mm-hmm.
Season 7 starts off basically right after season 6.
But I'm not, off the top of my head, I'm not quite sure how long has passed during season 7.
Yes.
Because they accelerated stuff, like
they
going
did.
basically across the map within episodes.
And that's the other question it comes down to is how long, well, that's the main question it comes down to. How much time has passed between the two? Because I could potentially see a Sansa pregnant storyline, because also how long till you know you're pregnant? Because Cersei knows, but she's also had 3 other kids.
True.
Sansa's never had a kid.
What if Sansa doesn't think she is, but she is?
Exactly. She
doesn't have that motherly influence anymore because her mom's dead.
Exactly. There's no one for her to really go to, close like that. Like again, there's people like servants and stuff like that. There's no one like close to her to tell her like, Sansa, you might be pregnant, or you are pregnant. So she wouldn't know, which is why we could be pushing it off till season 8.
Interesting theory on top of that theory. Yes. And I'm not saying this is right. I'm just thinking, what if that is right? Do you think if Sansa learned that the baby was Ramsay's, do you think that, let's say she learned after the baby was born, would she kill the baby because it's Ramsay's? Or if she learned and came to the realization it was Ramsay's while it was still in her, would she kill herself to kill the baby because she didn't want a spawn of Ramsay being in the world?
That's a good question. There would be a lot of drama.
Because of how much she hated Ramsay, and rightfully so for what he did to her and did to everyone else. But do you think
agree.
This is just an offshoot question. Do you think she would go to that level if that was true? Like, I don't want his spawn in the world. I'm going to kill myself.
She may do that because she may even think, I don't want this spawn inside me.
That too.
Yeah.
Like on both sides. Like that was something that just popped into my head of like, could that be a surprising twist?
Yeah.
That we see. Here's the one that I think is more likely to happen, and I want to throw it out there and just see what everyone thinks. Tyrion kills Daenerys. Jon gets Daenerys pregnant. We find out it's going to be a boy, or it could be a boy.
Yeah.
Tyrion, who wasn't already happy with them, kind of, however, he kills Daenerys to make sure Jon's on the throne.
Could be. I don't think he'd kill Daenerys to make sure Jon's on the throne, because Jon, even if Daenerys has a boy,
that's right,
is on the throne no matter what.
That's right, but
because Jon is the heir. As soon as we find out that he's like, as soon as we find out he's actually the heir, that's when everything will flip over for Daenerys. Either way, Jon's the top of the throne, whether Daenerys has a boy or not.
I'm trying to think in my head, because as you were talking, I was thinking about it, and now I lost that key part of, but that would be a twist.
Yeah.
Tyrion, who has been on the side of Daenerys this whole time, who had been her hand to the queen, kills her in the end. Just says, you know what, this is not right. Boom. Or because of the fact, here's a reason why he could do it, is because technically the whole Jon and Daenerys thing, yes, it's not brother-sister, but it is kind of similar to Jaime and Cersei. What if Tyrion goes, I don't want the chance of another true Mad King because it's Targaryen blood, and we all saw what Joffrey was like. Although the other ones weren't exactly like that, Joffrey was the most Mad King-like.
Here's one that we kind of talked about in our other Game of Thrones things. What if Jaime kills Cersei? his own child.
Is that
there's the big twist too? Then
maybe I don't see that as surprising because I've kind of been haven't I been kind of mentioning that?
Yeah,
since,
you
like,
have
the last few seasons that Jaime would be the one to kill Cersei.
Yeah, I think we have. I think we've gone back and forth.
But do you think
between Tyrion and Jaime doing it?
Here's the interesting thing though, because I don't think TV line is very into Game of Thrones and in the trenches like we are.
Yeah.
Would that be surprising as an understatement? Would that describe it for a casual, like, oh, I know what Game of Thrones is?
It would, but it wouldn't, because Jaime would, like, you would think Jaime wouldn't kill his own child, but then again, like, with the amount, like, with how Cersei's acting, that may push him over the edge, because now he's fine. Remember, for the longest time, no matter what Cersei did, he followed it like an idiot. And then, yes.
What if the kid ain't Jaime's?
Ooh, but whose would it be is the question then.
That's the thing. Because think about this. It was a pretty quick turnaround from they have sex to, hey, I'm pregnant. What if Cersei had sex with Jaime to, okay, now I can get him to believe this is his?
Could be, but I don't see Cersei doing that only because she had that lust for her brother the entire time.
What if we find out it's like magically fake?
Could be. I just don't know.
Not magically, but like she is very deceivious.
Manipulative.
Manipulative, deceivious. I don't even think that's a word, is it?
No,
I'm
not
making
really.
up words here on the podcast.
She's deceptive.
Today. Deceptive. That's what I'm thinking of. However, I wouldn't put it past her to pin a child on Jaime, thinking it's his when it's not.
It could be.
The question is, whose would it be? Which I don't have that answer.
Who could it be now?
Don't have that answer, Johnny. I do not have the answer of whose it could be.
I think the most likely out of all these is the Daenerys thing, or some grave twist in Cersei's, though. Honestly, which could be anything in this Game of Thrones universe.
Trying to think. Really, there's no one like the Sansa one. Interesting. I'm glad you even thought about it. I know I brought it to the table, but that was because I think when we talked about it pre-podcast, I was like, I don't think Johnny's going to bring this up because it was kind of shot down.
Yeah, I wasn't going to only because I was debating on doing it.
I wanted it to be brought up for the discussion part of it. But really, I think it's going to be either Daenerys or Cersei are the two that we get.
But I mean, there's your surprise too if it is Sansa, because like we said, Daenerys also wouldn't know if she's pregnant right away.
True,
because neither of the two of them have had that experience. No, never mind. I forgot. Daenerys did. She did.
Here's a question.
She lost the one.
Here's a question of if it is Sansa, because I'm going back to that.
Yeah.
You know what makes it an interesting kind of dilemma?
Huh?
What if the twist is that, oh, she is pregnant. She was pregnant all through season 7. We just didn't know.
Yeah.
Like, the character could know, but we can't know. It's kind of like an aside.
Would you really want to reveal that right away?
No. But what if she's been pregnant, and then it's the dilemma of, I don't want Ramsay's child into the world. However, I just learned it's a son. And if I have this son, that could be the new rightful king and the new starting point for the Starks.
Well, not king, but yeah, the head of Starks.
Exactly, because right now, look at where the family is.
Exactly.
Jon's a Targaryen. Well, he's a Stark, but he's a Targaryen by name.
Yeah.
You've got Bran, who is now the Raven. He's not going to be the king of Winterfell.
No.
Arya wants nothing to do with being a queen, but she's not a guy anyways. And then Sansa, who would be the rightful heir to the throne, would need a husband, but 2, by having a son, she could then say he is this is the rightful heir to the Winter, and she could just, because Ramsay's dead, he is not a Bolton, he's a Stark.
That's true. I mean, I don't know how it works out exactly in that.
However, you could fight it and say, well, no, really, he's a Bolton because his father was Ramsay Bolton.
Yeah, I wouldn't know how they would work it out in that world, because maybe they can call him a Stark because Bolton is dead, or does he become a bastard because there's no father anymore?
True.
So that would be the question. I mean, he was conceived with a married couple, But then it comes to the question of what happens when the father dies and the child's not born yet. That would be something to find out from the Game of Thrones universe. But yeah, that's where it comes in too. Either way, it's an heir to Winterfell now.
I don't know if the son would be a bastard, only because, and I'm going to say the name wrong, but look at Gendry, where it's Robert was still alive, yet he was still one of Robert's bastards, but that was because it was Robert outside of his marriage.
Exactly.
Sansa wasn't, or
Sansa was
she technically married to?
She was married to Ramsay.
And they had that child then in marriage.
Exactly.
He's dead.
So I
don't think he'd be a bastard. He'd just be a kid whose father died.
Honestly, he'd be a Bolton then.
He would be a Bolton.
Maybe not by name.
By tradition, he would be Bolton. But
yes.
I could see Sansa going, no, I don't want his name even living on. He is a Stark. And this is where the Stark tree begins again.
Yeah.
Because let's be completely honest. Because of the two guys, Jon being a Targaryen, Bran now being the Raven, it's basically all on Sansa. And if Sansa married someone, the Stark name dies.
Exactly.
This could be that would be a fucking amazing twist.
The restart of the Stark name.
At the very end of the season, she has the kid, and it's a boy, and then it's like the Stark name is reborn.
Or because of how much time possibly has passed, or like early mid-season 8, like let's say before the fight with the White Walkers, she has the kid. Extra drive, especially for Jon, because Jon takes everything to heart that happens in his family to keep that kid alive.
Yeah.
Because, oh shit, this is the heir to my actual family's name.
He has more of a connection to the Starks
than anyone.
The Targaryens.
Exactly.
Anyways.
He'll be like, his mindset, as I can see it, would be like, I have to keep this kid alive because he is the heir to my family's name.
True.
Even if he finds out before then he's a Targaryen.
And this is off the topic a little bit, but
yeah,
we are getting Game of Thrones apparently spring of 2019. That's when Maisie Williams had said that Game of Thrones Season 8 will premiere sometime within spring 2019. So we got to go all the way through 2018, then get it at the beginning of 2019.
Yeah.
Which spring will probably be what, March, April it'll start? Probably March.
Probably March.
March it'll start.
Usually...
It'll go through kind of the beginning of
March, April, and maybe part of May.
There's like what, 7 episodes, 6 episodes, 8 I think is the most that they'll do.
Yeah, so it'd be depending on where in March, it'd be March or part of March, all of April, and maybe part of May.
Any final thoughts or any Game of Thrones thing that you're like, I'm gonna throw out here because we haven't talked about it in a while?
Not really. I'm interested to see where the pregnancy line comes from.
If there even is one.
If there even is one.
Because just because someone says there is one doesn't mean there's going to be one. You know what I'm saying?
Like they do like you told me before, they do like 5 extra hours of footage or recording just to throw people off.
They do.
That is nuts.
Of like filming.
Yeah.
They film fake scenes just so if paparazzi sees it, it's like, nope, that's not in there.
Yeah. That's one of those extra ones, guys.
Like, think about that. 5 hours of lines that the actors still have to memorize because they actually have to film the scenes.
Exactly.
There's no camera there's no film in the camera, but they're still filming the scene.
Exactly.
Filming the scene.
Yeah, exactly. That's nuts. So, I mean, that could just be something to, like, throw people off or something. You never know.
It could be. But this is where I turn it on to you guys. Let us know what you guys think down below. If there is should there be a pregnancy storyline? If there is, what do you think it's going to be for Season 8 of Game of Thrones? But I want to thank you guys for checking out the Rick and Johnny podcast. A little housekeeping here at the end. Number one, if you have not already, you like what we're doing here, you want to see it continue, make sure to check out patreon.com/mostvaluablepodcast. Also, if you want to get your hands on an MVP t-shirt, make sure to check out the description. All the information is in the description. If you're on iTunes, make sure to, if you're on iTunes, listening on iTunes, have an iTunes, make sure to go give the Rick and Johnny podcast a 5-star rating. And last but not least, really, I'll say this. If you want to check out the survey, still check out the survey. We are just kind of collecting the responses this week. But if you have not given us your feedback, make sure to give us your feedback in the survey link below. I want to thank you guys for either watching on YouTube or listening on podcast services around the world. But as always, have a good day, everybody.